Here's a piece of folklore. It is the recollection of an old man that describes the loss of land-connectedness in Norway. And I found this little story in one of my main introductions to Nordic folklore, which is Ulrik and Elekilde Nordens Gudverden, and I found it so touching that I just want to give it to you straight up. An old man tells about his childhood home in Sogn, where near the house there was a mound unlike any other. Close to the mound stood a tree, and it was also extraordinary. The grass on the mound was the greenest that you could imagine, with small flowers finer than anywhere else. The tree's leaves sprouted early and gave off such a lovely fragrance that it was a delight. Sometimes from the mound harmonies could be heard, sounding as the most delicate violin play. Like everything about the mound, this music was also without comparison. In the mound lived a hulder man with his people, and it was easy to see in so many ways that having them as guests in the household was a blessing. The family had great luck with the cattle. Everything grew and thrived, great and small. Anything we undertook was easily completed, but our mother also knew what to do. In the barn, she always left one stall empty, which she swept and kept clean so not a grain of dust could be seen. Every Saturday evening, after churning butter, she spread thick butter on a slice of bread and placed it on the mound. When we pressed our ears to the mound, we could hear lovely music, as if played from deep within there, and we knew that they were happy and content in there. Years passed, and the mother died. Next year we had a stepmother, and that was a good woman in other ways, but she didn't care for the hulder man. That was just nonsense, she said, but she was not worse than she did like we were used to, but it wasn't like when mother was alive. It was easy to hear that the mound people weren't as happy as before. If there was music from the mound, it sounded sad and mournful, so that it would make you cry. So we could hear that mother was dearly missed by the mound people. But it got worse the second time we had a stepmother. She was from another village where people didn't believe that kind of thing, and she would have nothing of such traditions. She dismissed the idea of leaving an empty stall as long as there was a cow to place there. She would not give away any good butter on the day of the churning. But any cow that was placed in the empty stall got sick and died, and it was more and more empty in the storage of milk and butter. The cattle didn't fare well, and however we strove and toiled, everything just declined. The mound also started to change. No sound was heard from there anymore, and it became ugly to behold from the outside until it just looked like a misheld hill. The grass turned yellow and black as if burned, the flowers waned and withered, and the leaves on the tree hung dry and lifeless. There was nothing but sadness and sorrow to behold everywhere you looked. In the end, we heard a great noise from the mound, as when someone are moving out with all their cattle. At the end it fell silent. That was the hulder man who moved somewhere else with his cattle and household. For us, it just went more and more badly. We children had to go and serve, like become servants in another farm, and in the end father had to leave the farm and land and live his life in poverty. The mound got smaller and smaller and sank down little by little until it was completely gone. And now there's just a hollow in the ground where it used to be. So don't come and tell me that the mound people are not real. So notice the emotional and relational intensity, like the literal nature of this land connection here. The hulder family that's living in the mound, we could see it as the subjective nature of that relation to land, this life-defining condition of this agrarian family. This relation is condensed in this particular mound as a hub for their subjective relation to the land that feeds them. It is real subjectivity. There are actually beings in there. And I want to mention that I have an online course called Landconnectedness 101. In this course, I go through a lot of detailed material on how to uphold or even recover this kind of land connection. For instance, there's a whole lecture entirely about mounds and barrows, which is a really important element in North European animist relation to landscapes. So Check it out and learn more about land connection in the Nordic Animist tradition.